The WBC Super Featherweight title was contested Saturday, July 6th, when champion Oshaki Foster took on challenger Robson Kansekiao. This fight turned out with a split decision for the title, in which Brazilian fighter Robson Kansekiao came out on top. But that's not how the fight went. And here we are talking about the aftermath. And there's a huge possibility that there may be a rematch. But we must talk about what went down the first go round. Let's talk about Foster Kansekiao. In a co-main feature that took place on the undercard of Stevenson versus Harutyanyan, Oshaki Foster took on Robson Kansekiao, defending his WBC Super Featherweight title. The outcome of this match was not expected. And when I say outcome, I'm talking about the judge's final decision. Because what I witnessed was one of the best displays of boxing, footwork, defense, combined by a present-day champion in Oshaki Foster that I hadn't seen since the young days of pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. I thought that Foster boxed his way to a victory that was assured, but that was not the case, as judges handed out a split decision culminating in a victory for Robson Kansekiao. Judges Tony Lundy, Ron McNair, and Paul Wallace saw this fight so differently than how I saw it, that it was amazing. And many people now are stating that this is the consummate present-day robbery. Now, what I'm saying is not against the performance of the fighters. This has everything to do with the judges, because Lundy scored this fight 116 to 112 for Kansekiao. McNair scored it 116 to 112 for Foster. Wallace had it 115 to 113 for Kansekiao. Two judges had the same score, but for differing fighters. One judge had it awfully close for the fighter that I felt did not win. How is that possible? This smells. I could see close scorecards all the way around, but this was not a close performance. Though Consequao was aggressive and threw punches that weren't landing, not effective, and weren't scoring, Foster's defense held up very well, and he was hitting with the cleaner, more effective shots consistently over 12 rounds. This wasn't even close. Even the ESPN broadcast team had Foster winning pretty much 11 out of 12 rounds. So how did the judges arrive at these differing scorecards? I still need an explanation. Foster boxed very well, and I'm probably one of the few fight game podcast content creators that will tell you that his defense was so on point that he looked like a young Floyd Mayweather, that many people may not even agree with that, but you go back and watch. Watch the positioning of his hands, his shoulders, tucking his chin, rolling with shots, countering, stepping around, keeping Consequao in a situation of where he may be off balance, but his shots aren't clean or effective. It's really that simple. How did these judges have the fight so close? I can't explain it. I just can't. Even upon watching the fight a second time, there's nothing that tells me that Robeson ever pulled ahead. Even the final punch stats, he wasn't scoring double figures in punches landed in many rounds. Foster managed to pull a disappearing act, being right in front of his opponent and taking away the play, countering often enough to stay out ahead. Some people are trying to now say, well, he should have let his hands go more. But this wasn't an all-defensive type situation. Robeson Consequao has had many title opportunities over the past 6 fights of his career, going all the way back to 2021. He's fought Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson, Emmanuel Navarrete, and now O'Shaquie Foster. Out of his last 6 fights, 7 if you count Saturday night, he's had 4 title opportunities. He must be at the top of Santa's list. No one wants to talk about that. No one but he has mentioned the fact that the Consequao camp tried to enter this fight and come in with tainted gloves. Oh yeah. His cornerman had to get that resolved. And that's not the first time that that's happened to him. Gloves with no padding. Something's wrong. Upon the reading of the scorecards. The look on Oshaki's face said it all. He was totally shocked at the decision that they had arrived at. But nothing is fair when it comes to the sport of boxing. And he deserves so much better and so much more consideration due to the fact that he has been a professional. He has stepped to the plate and fought without complaint, had turned out victorious due to his abilities. No gifts, but yet and still, the climate was so that the 35-year-old Consequia could finally bring a championship home to Brazil at the expense of one of boxing's premier boxers of today. Unfair. At some point, the sport is destined to crash. These type of decisions, the things that are going on behind the scenes, the cheating, the bias, prejudice, and overall mob activity is hurting, tainting the sport so badly that boxing no longer has black eyes or even broken limbs. Boxing is literally on life support. And quality fighters like Oshaki Foster should not be used and abused for bad decisions like this. The man was visibly shaken with that decision. How could they do that to him? How? Just unfair. But I've been talking about this man and his accomplishments in the ring. I've been given credit to where credit is due. He is one of boxing's best presently. And if he's able to get the talked about rematch, he's already expressed that it will not be left in the judge's hands the next go round. And you know something? I believe him, because fighters like Oshaki, pros who step up to the plate, are willing to go wherever to perform their work. They're just made and built differently. And the corruption of boxing, which has been there far before he came on the scene and will be there long after he's gone, doesn't have any appreciation for fighters like himself, but people like myself, my subscribers, supporters of the sport with integrity. They understand what a fighter like Oshaki brings. And we pull for fighters like Oshaki Foster. Again, this is not against Robeson Consequia. Congratulations to being a champion. But it wasn't earned. It'll be your title to defend if you face Oshaki once again. But understand, it won't come easy. And you've got to be prepared to deal with that. Think about it. This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about this fight and its outcome. Leave comments and discuss further. Peace to to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.